The twin suns of Erebor 9 rose slowly over the ruins of the Skyhold Mountains, bathing the metallic peaks in a crimson hue. Below, the sprawling desert stretched endlessly, once a vibrant colony of dwarves, now a graveyard of machines. On the ridge stood Bilran, a small, wiry humanoid from the planet Shireon, his cloak flapping in the dry winds. His cybernetic eye glowed faintly blue as it scanned the horizon. In his hands, he held a relic, a quantum key, humming with ancient energy. This key, carved from the crystalline heart of a dying star, was said to unlock the ArkenForge, a legendary device capable of creating life or destruction on a planetary scale. Bilran hadn't meant to find it. He was a wanderer, a hobbit in human terms, a tinkerer who fixed droids and traded scraps. But fate had other plans. Behind him, the thunder of engines shook the ground. A massive ship, the dwarven carrier Thorin-One, descended, its turbines spraying sand like a storm. The vessel's ramp opened with a hiss, and a tall figure emerged, Thorin Oakshield, last king of the dwarven houses of Erebor. "Bilran," Thorin called out, voice echoing through his helmet's comms. "You found it, the key to the forge." Bilran hesitated. "I did. But at what cost, Thorin? The planet sensors are alive again. They know we're here." Thorin's visor reflected the twin suns. "Then we stand and fight. The ArkenForge belongs to the dwarves. It will rebuild what was stolen from us." But before Bilran could answer, the skies split open. Black ships descended like shadows. From their hulls poured mechanical legions, the Orkai Drones, programmed for one purpose, annihilation. And above them, in a hovering command cruiser, stood AIvsHuman, the machine general of the Dark Dominion, his metal skull gleaming under the suns. The battle for Erebor 9 had begun. The valley erupted in chaos. Laser fire streaked across the skies. Dwarven ships maneuvered, releasing ground troops in armored exosuits. Bilran ducked behind a fallen engine core, clutching the quantum key. "Bilran!" cried Keely, Thorin's young lieutenant. "Get that relic to the forge chamber. We'll hold them here. But go!" Keely fired a plasma rifle, vaporizing an Orkai drone mid-charge. The explosion lit up the dusk like lightning. Bilran sprinted toward the caverns, ancient halls carved into the mountainside. As he entered, holograms flickered to life, projecting the faces of dwarves long dead. The air was thick with static and memory. He reached the heart of the mountain, the ArkenForge core, a swirling orb of light suspended by energy fields. Its humming grew louder as he approached. The forge's AI flickered awake, voice cold and deep. "Identify, intruder or heir?" Bilran hesitated. "Neither. I'm just a traveler." "Traveler. Access requires blood of Erebor." Before he could react, Thorin stumbled in, wounded but unbroken. "Then let my blood open it," he said. He pressed his gauntlet hand onto the console. The machine absorbed the gesture, scanning his DNA. The forge roared to life. Energy spirals danced across the chamber, lighting the walls with blue fire. Thorin looked at Bilran. "It's working. The heart of Erebor beats again." But their victory was short-lived. The mountain trembled. A massive explosion rocked the entrance. AIvsHuman's forces had breached the gates. "Secure the forge," Thorin barked. "Bilran, keep that key safe." Bilran backed away as Thorin and his warriors formed a line. Plasma bolts and energy blades clashed in blinding fury. The clang of metal echoed through the chamber. AIvsHuman entered through the smoke, towering over the dwarves, his voice a metallic growl. "King Thorin, you still cling to ghosts." Thorin lifted his warhammer. Better ghosts than machines without souls. The two clashed. Sparks flew. Thorin's hammer met AIvsHuman's blade arm in a storm of power. Each strike sent shockwaves through the forge. Bilran could barely watch. The key pulsed violently in his hands, as if reacting to the battle. He looked around, spotting a glowing port in the forge's console. The key fit perfectly. "Bilran, no!" Thorin shouted, blocking another strike. "You don't know what that will do." "I don't," Bilran said, "but maybe it's what we need." He inserted the key. The forge screamed. Light exploded outward. A wave of quantum energy surged across the battlefield. The Orkai drones froze mid-motion, their circuits disrupted. Azog staggered, systems shorting out. But the power was too much. The mountain began to collapse. Bilran! Thorin yelled. Get out! The forge is overloading! Bilran ran through the tunnels, the ceiling caving in behind him. He emerged onto the ridge, coughing, just as the entire mountain erupted in a blinding column of light. The shockwave tore through the desert, toppling ships and sending debris into orbit. When the dust settled, Erebor 9 was silent once again. Hours later, Bilran awoke beneath a sky of ashes. His body ached. His cloak was torn. The forge was gone, nothing but molten glass where the mountain had stood. He saw movement, a figure limping toward him. Thorin, barely alive, his armor cracked and smoking. You survived, Bilran whispered. Thorin sank beside him. A king must die with his kingdom, but maybe not today. He looked at the horizon. Did the forge work? Bilran looked around. The air shimmered faintly. Tiny green sprouts, living, breathing plants, were pushing through the dust. It did more than work, Bilran said softly. It healed the land. Thorin smiled faintly. Then maybe Erebor lives again, not as a fortress, but as a world reborn. Suddenly, a small orb rolled toward them. It was Keely's recording drone, cracked but operational. It projected a final message. To any who find this, the dwarves of Erebor stand victorious. The battle of the 5 armies is won. Let the memory of those who fell light the way for those who remain. Bilran watched the hologram fade. Silence followed, peaceful, eternal. He turned to Thorin, but the king had closed his eyes, his final breath leaving him with a quiet dignity. Bilran sat beside him until dawn. When the twin suns rose again, Bilran gathered what little he could and began to walk. There were other worlds to see, other ruins to mend. As he disappeared into the horizon, the sprouts behind him bloomed, an emerald field stretching across the wasteland.